Okay, if you remember, we have total 2 missions now. The first mission, we installed ESXi 7.0 U3 on the RAID volume. Second mission, we installed ESXi 8.0 U1 on the, like here, here I don't have, how can I say? I don't have a RAID. On top of that, we installed on one disk, we installed ESXi 8.0, but other 3 disk, they have to come actually, when we try to create the data center, it is not listing them, right? It is not listing them. Actually, it has to list that physical drives. From there, the actual data store should be created from that physical disk. But that is not happening. Okay, so I'm thinking, so this is the new OS. ESXi 8.0 is the very, very new operating system. Okay. It released on 23rd May 2023. So hardly some 20 days back, right? So I'm thinking this is maybe an issue with OS. Okay, that's why I'm going to try with a stable build. So as I mentioned, if you see in the ESXi 7.0 or in the ESXi 8, it will be same, like the processor wise same. So if you ask me, right, if you ask me, are these both images are same? Okay, if you ask me, I'll say yes. So as per our storage, as per our VM creation, that is yes. But where are the differences? Differences are like number of VMs, number of data stores, like that. There is a different things are there, which really we are no need to bother. Really no need to bother. You understand, right? So like that situation, it's not taking. Okay, I'll do one reboot. I think I cleared the RAID yesterday. Okay, I cleared the RAID. System configuration, array configuration. No arrays found. I deleted the RAID. Okay, so just that's fine. Attach the CD DVD. No, it's not taking. Okay, we'll attach again. So repeated things we are doing regularly. So the repeated things you should become very perfect. Okay, the things what we do very regularly, right? You should become perfect in that. Yes, media inserted. I'll go to power of cold boot. Okay, just I'll initiate the OS, right? It will take a long time. In that time, we will discuss one concept called snapshot. Very, very, very important. Okay. Okay, by then, I'll open other missions also. I'll open directly the ESXi server 1. Okay, 172.17.100.2. Right? This is the vSphere web client. Okay, I'm directly opening the ESXi instead of ILO. So I'm not opening the ILO. So see here, we have multiple missions. Okay, we have multiple missions. So we given total 3 VMs. We created total 3 VMs. These are the names we given. All are powered on, and the status is normal. Normal means they are working fine. And this much storage every VM used. And these are the operating system in that machines. And these are the host names in the OS host name, and the CPU, and RAM, how much RAM they are using. Okay, so all are there. So coming to storage, so we have one data store. Okay, we have one data store. So I told you yesterday, we created a RAID. Okay, I missed it. We'll initiate the OS and come. Okay. What's happening here? Let's wait. What's happening here? I'll reboot again. Better, I'll reboot again. Okay, we'll initiate and talk more. Okay, just hold on. We will initiate the OS and go to that first mission. I'll press F11. Okay, let it come. F11. Okay, now we will click on this CD DVD. See, it started loading. So it will take long time. So we will see a few things in that data center, data store, and come back. Okay. So this is our first ESXi server. So in the first ESXi server, we created a RAID. On top of the RAID, we installed ESXi operating system. Okay. So now, okay, this. Okay, So this is our server, and we have taken some hard disk. This is disk 1, this is disk 2, and Yeah. Sorry guys, I don't know. It got disconnected, and after I rebooted, it came up. Okay. Okay. Looks like some problem with laptop. Okay, fine. No issue. Let me share my screen. A minute. Just let me connect the lab network. So if I reboot, I have to do many things actually. Okay. So just to wait. It's okay. So able to see my screen, right? Okay, just check what happened. Okay, that is loaded. We'll install this. Okay, so just hit enter and press F11 to accept. So this is third time we are installing the OS, right? ESXi. So you should get familiar with this. Okay, there are 3 drives in this mission, each one 279 GB, 280 GB. So I am selecting the first disk to install the OS, and other 2 disk we use it as a data store. Okay, just enter. Okay, yes, enter. So it is telling there is some data in the disk. I will delete everything. Yes, I said okay. Enter the password for root. As you all know, as you all know, the default user is root in the ESXi, and password is yes admin 123, whatever we give it. Okay, I think it started installing. Okay, let's install. Okay. Okay, we'll go to our this one data store. I was explaining about data store. Okay, so I was telling there is a server with 2 hard disk, 1 TB and 1 TB. So all together it become a data store, right? Data store 1. Data store 1. Okay. So in this data store, I think this came around 1.7 TB after all the installations, all the drivers, everything done, right? 1.7 TB it came. So here I take a small piece for ESXi OS, right? Obviously, we need a space for ESXi OS, and the remaining space I am using for VM1, and this is for VM2, and this is for VM3, something like that. So just I am showing you in a different color as they are different VMs. So like this, in the data store, the VMs are created. In the data store, the VMs are created. Okay. So to simply say, okay, in this folder, I mean, in the data store, okay, in the data store, every VM is a folder. Every VM is a folder. Okay, you know that, right? It come like this folder. Okay, every VM is a folder. I'm telling you, I'm repeating you. In the ESXi, maybe that is a server for us, but for the ESXi, that is just the folder. Okay. If you open the data store, you will see different folders for different VMs. Okay. Suppose if you create 3 VMs, you will see 3 folders in the data store. You're understanding, right? So this VMs, right? The folder get create inside this folder. Inside this folder, there are information like hard disk. So this is again, whether if it is a folder or whatever, this is the server, right? This is the server for us. One server need hard disk, server need some configuration like NIC card, like this, some configuration. Server need BIOS, server need some what to say, some RAM. Okay, every server has some logs. Like this, even physical servers also have this kind of information. Okay, even if you take on physical server have some configuration, NIC card, okay, NIC card, RAID controller card, PCI slots, processor, RAM, blah blah blah. Okay, and hard disk, I'm showing you separately. There is a hard disk, there is a BIOS. So for everything, the file will get created in the VM. Okay, in the folder, VM folder. When you create a VM for hard disk, one file will get created, that is .vmdk. Okay, just understand, that's it. Okay, you will understand everything. Just listen carefully. So .vmdk file name is .vmdk, and one more file .vmx configuration file, and BIOS file .nvram. Okay, this is the BIOS file, and there is no separate for RAM. Also .log file, like this. Some files inside these folders are there. So first we'll see this and we'll come back here. Okay, I'm opening. This is some 32% only. Okay, let it go on. What? Oh, okay, enter. I'm entering reboot. Okay. Okay, see now I'm opening data store. Just click on data store. So here data store browser means you can go inside the data store and see. Okay, so if you see this, leave this top folder. I'll talk about this later. If you see, we have total 3 VMs. Server 1 Windows 2022, there is a folder, and these are the files. And server 2 RHEL, there is a folder, and these are the files. And server 4 SLES, so this is the folder, and these are the files. Okay, if you see, you have 3 VMs. Every VM there is a folder. Every VM there is a folder. Every VM there is a folder. Okay. Now then, what are these? What are these for? Anyone can tell what are these for? These four are the ISO images. We uploaded these ISO images to install the virtual machines. I hope you all remember. Okay. Anyway, ISOs are done, right? I can go and delete them. Okay, delete it. Relay.7 delete it. /15 delete it. And Windows 2019, like OS installation is done. Actually, not required for us. So I'm cleaning the data store. Just I'm deleting the unwanted data in the data store. Okay. Just wait. Something is loading. Looks like that may be attached to the VM. Maybe attached to the VM. That's why it is like this. Just hold on. Okay, I'll refresh it, man. I don't know. Okay, just close this. Just close this. Go to every system. Right click. Just see what I'm doing. I do many things. Definitely, you will not understand few, but topics wise, you have to understand. See, the data store file is connected here. Okay, that's why it is unable to delete it. Okay. The guest operating system has locked this. Okay, we will disconnect that data store files when we created the VMs. So here nothing is there, it got disconnected. Nothing is there. Windows, edit settings. Nothing is there here also, right? Save it. / edit settings. So everything is there in that edit settings only. Okay, now we'll go to storage, data store browser. Now I'm seeing this machine. We will delete it. I think it will delete now without any problem. No, it is taking some time every time. Let's see. If not deleted, we will we'll go to next file. Okay, don't waste time here. Okay, data store browser, it got deleted. Okay, I think it has taken some time. So Windows 2022, delete. So I want to show you the fresh data store. That's why I'm deleting unnecessary things in the data store. So data store is the hard disk for ESXi. In that hard disk, if you create a VM, for every VM, one folder will get create. Okay. And also to install the operating system, we need ISO image. So that ISO images you have to copy here. You have to upload to this. That ISO images. Okay. Also, suppose if you want to install some drivers, firmwares. Okay. There is a class actually in this month only we will discuss that. So that kind of files we will upload to VMware ESXi. So this data store. Okay. Like this is the storage for ESXi. Okay. But the purpose of ESXi is like we create VMs on top of data store. We create, we upload ISO images to install OS in the data VMs. So for all these things, this is the only option. Data store is the only option. Right? Now we will click on one by one. Okay. So if I click on this folder, whatever content is there in this folder, you can see all this information here. Okay. Just I want to show you very properly. Just make it little big. Okay, just click here. Okay, okay, fine. See, when I click on this, there are multiple files are there. Multiple files are there. As I discussed, .vmdk, but before, this is the VM name, whatever VM name we give, right? With that name .vmdk. Okay, you can see here. See, this is our VM name is server1 underscore Windows 2022. Here, if you observe, every file has server1 underscore Windows 2022. Server1 underscore Windows 2022. Server1 Windows 2022. Okay, so we will see .vmdk. See this file. Okay, see this file. Okay, let it be like that. So you can see one by one. So this is the data store. In the data store, we have 3 VMs. So these are the 3 folders. In the first VM, first folder, we have all these files. And as I said, this is VMDK and there is one more VMDK. So this VMDK size is 500 GB. This VMDK size is 100 GB. We have only one hard disk, right? Why? There are 2 VMDK files in this VM. Anybody can tell this? Anybody can try this? Who attended yesterday's class can tell the answer to this. Anyone? I'll give you a minute time. Just think why, what is this 500 and 100? Why there are 2 VMDKs? You understand the question, right? I'm telling this is the hard disk file to the VM. Okay.
We added extra hard disk.
We added extra hard disk. Did we added extra hard disk yesterday? No, just confirm only. No, just I'm just doing cross question.
No. Yesterday class I did see till now. Tomorrow I see all of us.
Okay. Sir, yes, actually we created one extra hard disk.
Yes. Anyone else remember? Yes, Murli. Well, try actually. Yes, Srinivas, correct. Yesterday we added one more disk. If you remember, we deleted that 4th VM and we created a disk and we given it as a D drive or something. Okay, so this VM has 2 hard disks. That's why it has 2 files. Suppose if you give 10 hard disks, you have 10 files like that. .vmdk. Okay, very important. Question is, what are the VM files? So you have to tell .vmdk hard disk file. Okay, suppose if you have 4 hard disk, okay, you will see 4 VMDKs. And see, there is a difference. The first VMDK is straight away given with VM name .vmdk, and the second VMDK, it came underscore 1.vmdk. If you create one more underscore 2.vmdk, if you create one more underscore 3.vmdk, like that for every hard disk, it create VMDK file. Okay, if you click on this, it is clearly telling 500 GB and it is telling when it is created also. Okay, so let's see this. So this we created yesterday, day before yesterday. Okay, June 13, and this is VMDK file. Okay, you are clear? So for the VMs, we have a folder and file. So in the folder, we have a hard disk. So this is the hard disk. Okay, next one, I'm telling you there is a configuration file. Okay, there is a configuration file. So if you see here, there is a .vmx, .vmx.lck, .vmx. This symbol, .vmxf. Okay, for now, okay, you consider all 4 files, 1, 2, 3, 4 files are .vmx. Okay, in this I have written .vmx. Okay, .vmx, you consider this So .vmx, vmx.lck. So you can write this, all this, okay? .vmx, .vmx.lck, .vmx, that symbol, what do you call that? There is some name for that. I'm not recalling. So .vmxf. These 4 files are actually configuration files. Configuration files. So I'll tell you what is configuration means. If you remember, we given 4 CPU, 16 GB RAM, and some one NIC card, and we attached some ISOs. All these things we did it right. Whatever you do in the configuration level, everything will get update in this VMX file. Everything will get update in the VMX file. Okay, so if I go and reboot this VM, for example, these 3 VMs are actually taking hardware and configuration from the physical server. We know that, right? But why, how it is taking only 4 CPU and 16 GB RAM? Why it can't take more than that? Why it can't take less than that? Because there is CPU is available, right? There is a RAM is available. But how the system will get to know I should use only this much CPU? You're understanding, right? How VM get to know that I can use only this much, I can use only this much configuration. Okay, the VM for every time, whenever you reboot, whenever you shut down the ESXi, whenever you shut down the VM, whatever case, whenever it go down, okay, after that, whenever it is coming up, it look at this VMX file, and from the VMX file, it understand, okay, I got configured 4 CPU, 16 GB RAM, this much hard disk, this much NIC, this much blah, 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 blah. It will take, by seeing that, only that much configuration takes from the server. So that is .vmx file. I'll tell the differences between these 4. Hold on until you understand very well on the VMware. Okay, you can write here somewhere .vmx, .vmx.lck, .vmxf, .vmx, that symbol. There are 4 files. Any question here? .vmdk and .vmx, even .vmx also with the VM name, Okay, next file NVRAM. So see here. So VMDK, see this is the NVRAM. Okay, this is the NVRAM, some 264 KB. It's a very small size. If you see this, 3.81 KB, that VMX. Okay, this is 0 byte, nothing is there. 3.8 KB, some 3.8 KB. So altogether it is around 10 KB something. Okay, so coming to NVRAM, this is 264 KB. So this is the BIOS file. Okay, like we know, we were telling, like whenever I reboot the system, BIOS will act like operating system until we get the operating system loaded. Okay, I told you there is a concept called BIOS, which takes care many things when there is no OS, when you reboot the server, when you reboot the laptop, blah, blah, blah. Okay, very simple. Suppose if I reboot the laptop, you take the example, you reboot the laptop. So how the system is loading very properly, how it is showing the time properly, how it is showing all the data in a proper way. Okay, you know who is working? The BIOS works to arrange all these things in an order and properly. Okay, same case here, even for VM, like how we need a BIOS for physical server, same way we need a BIOS for the VM also. So this is that file. So VM name .nvram. This is the BIOS file. This is the BIOS file. For physical server, we have BIOS. For virtual server, we have VM.nvram file as a BIOS. Any question? Okay. So now VMDK done, NVRAM, all these things. And there is one more file, .log file, VMware.log file. Okay, this is the file where whatever you do on the virtual machine, everything will get record in this file. Whatever you do, everything will write in that log. Suppose if I go and shut down, now I open browser for that VM, right? Even that information also store in that log file. Okay, suppose when you are working in the real time, if you get into any problem, for example, you are unable to power on your virtual machine. So that time, the developers may ask you to get this file. Can you get this file? I will check and let you know what happened there. Okay, like that they ask. So with this log file, you get the information. How many files so far? 4 files, right? 4 files. And there are 3 more files. One is, see this vswap. Okay, one is vswap. Okay, this is the important. Leave this. This is also you are seeing vswap only. So this you leave it. Okay, this is a VMX. In the VMX, there is the information. So I'll tell you, vswap, if you see, it's a 16 GB. You are seeing, right? It's a 16 GB file, vswap. So what is the RAM size here? It's a 16 GB RAM. Okay, for every VM, whatever the RAM size is there, that much vswap file will get created. Vswap. Okay, we call it as a swap file. Okay, suppose this VM has a 16 GB RAM, and for some reason, many people are accessing this VM, and so much of load is there, and all entire 16 GB RAM occupied. Occupied means everything, entire RAM we are using. In that case, what will happen? The system will go down. Like once it reaches that threshold level, it reaches that maximum level, right? The VM will go down. Even in case of physical server also. Suppose if you have so much of RAM, and if you utilize entire RAM, right? Entire RAM, the system go down. Okay. For that, there is a concept like vswap. Okay, I'll tell you what exactly it does. Okay, so here when this vswap, this is taken from the this will get taken from the hard disk. First thing. Okay, we given some 500 GB hard disk, right? In that 500 GB, it takes some 16 GB as a swap memory. You are seeing, right? VSWP, that is virtual swap. The meaning of that is virtual swap. It's a swap memory. It reserved from the hard disk. In the hard disk, 16 GB space it reserved. Okay, and after that, what will happen, right? If for any reason, if your RAM is completely occupied, this 16 GB act like a RAM. But actually, where this storage is, it is there in the hard disk, but still it act like a RAM, and it won't allow the system to go down. Okay, just because of this, the system will not go down. This 16 GB will become a RAM. So if this 16 GB also occupied, then in that case, it will go down. Okay, anyway, so we can see like it has some 32 GB RAM. Okay, 16 GB actual RAM and 16 GB swap memory. Okay, so you may get a doubt. We given 500 GB hard disk, and in that the 16 GB occupied, reserved for RAM. Suppose if I give 500 GB data to that hard disk, what will happen to this 16 GB? Okay, simple. In that case, if you fill this 500 GB, the swap memory will become 0. The swap memory will become 0. Until the 16 GB is available, the swap memory is 16 GB. For any reason, if you want more data, in that case, the hard disk, it acts like a hard disk only. It won't give any space for vswap. So the high priority for hard disk only. Okay, if there is no so much of data, then it occupies some 16 GB. for swap memory. Many things are there. Understood? Any question here? Okay. Okay, I'm taking it as you understood. So now you have a swap memory. There is one more swap memory you are seeing. So this is, I think, for VMX file. This I did not see anywhere. I'm seeing only here. I'll check what is this. Okay, I didn't see this before. And there is one more file. Swap memory is done. There is, if you see, there is a VMSD file, VMSD. So I'll tell what is this file and I'll come back. I want to talk about this file. VMSD is the VM snapshot data. VM snapshot data. This is the file. If you see, this is a 0 byte. So on the virtual machines, we can create the snapshots. I will tell what is that. Everything we'll discuss tomorrow. That snapshot and all we'll discuss tomorrow. So this VMSD, it will maintain by the VM. So based on the snapshot, just remember this one line, and tomorrow I'll give the justification for this VMSD file. Okay, so just check this, whether this is loaded completely. What happened? Okay, if you see, there are total, how many files are there? So I'll write simple. Okay, only file extension I'll write. So this is .vmdk, okay, .vmx, okay, VMDK, VMX, VMDK, VMX, NVRAM, VSWP, VSwap, swap memory, and log file, and VMSD. Okay, this is hard disk file. This is configuration file. This is BIOS file. This is swap memory. Swap memory. This is, I'll say log file only. You try to understand what is log and all properly. Log file. And this is snapshot data. So if you see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 important files. There is one more file that is .vmsn. So this is snapshot data. This is snapshot file. Okay, these two are related to snapshot, which we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, so you understand these files, 5 files thoroughly? Any question on these 5 files for VM? So total 7 files will get generated, and in the VMX we have, okay, we have multiple files that I'll talk. In the VMDK we have multiple files. In the VMSN we will have multiple files based on our configuration, but the file extension is same, the purpose is same. Okay, these are the 7 important VM files. Okay, if you open every VM, this is loaded. I'll go to second folder. Just see here. If I go to rel, the name will change. Name of the VM will change. Server to rel. And again, same swap file, NVRAM, VMDK, VMSD, snapshot data, VMX, log file, and one more swap file. I'll see this one. What is this? Some VMX _ swap file. So see, all same files are there. So here also same files are there. For every mission, whenever you create, these 7 files will get generated, and with that the VM will run. Okay, if you go and delete any of the file, right, your VM may go down. Your VM will go down. Okay, any question here? Okay, I'll do one thing. But I'll configure the IP and we will log in. Okay, so how to configure? This is a ESXi what we installed. The option is go to F2. Okay, we have to configure the IP address. Just see the option. What I'll do. So IP is 172.17.100.6. So configure management network and go to IPv4 configuration. Go to set static. Okay, 172.17.100.2. Sorry, 6. Okay, 255, 255, 255.0. I'm doing very fast, right? Hit enter. Okay. What else? We have to do one more setting. That is troubleshooting options. Go to troubleshooting options and enter to enable ESXi shell. Enter. Enter enable SSH. Enter. Enable SSH. Exit. Exit. Okay. So the IP has come. We'll open the vSphere web client. I'm doing little fast. I want you all. I'm thinking you all know that. Okay, just enter this, go to advanced, go to this, give the username and password, root. Okay, admin @123. If you see, we have 3 virtual machines now. Sorry, 3 ESXi servers now. Okay, you can see everything here. Okay, you can see your host name, memory, CPUs, blah, 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 everything you can see here. Okay, maybe whenever you are looking it right, take one screenshot and look at everything. Okay, every point. If you want, I can open and while recording the video, you can check everything. Okay, so what is there? What is this? What is this? What is this? And what it is showing here. So everything you can see one after one. What is this navigator? What is host? What is virtual machine? If you understand this right, you will understand 50 to 60% of VMware. Okay, so now straight away we'll go to storage. So we have one data store. So data store 1 capacity is 151.25 GB. What is this, man? We given 279 GB, right? Is there an issue with everything? Okay, anyway, we'll create new data store. Just click here. Just click next. Hey, come on. Something. I think I'm using wrong images. Okay. So sad. Yesterday we stopped here only, right? Looks like I'm using some wrong images where we don't have a proper softwares involved, proper drivers involved. Okay, I want to show you this. This is very, very important actually. Something looks like I'm taking some wrong builds. Okay, fine. I'll sort out. I think. Oh, even data stores are looking different. You can see here, right? Data store 1. This is the ESXi 7.0 U3, very old OS. So it should not fail actually. There should not be any issue. And if you see here, it is telling 151.25 GB. We clearly see that it has 279 GB, but it is showing 151 GB. So in that 1.41 GB used and free space is this much. Okay, which is entirely wrong, right? We have 279 GB, but it is showing something different. Okay, there is a problem. There is a problem. Okay, let's stop here. I mean, this one data store. I'll come back to this again tomorrow's class. We'll go back. I'll start. Okay, snapshot. I will give the practical for snapshot, and we'll discuss what is that tomorrow. Okay. Now go to the first VM. Close everything. Close everything. Close everything. I'm going to first ESXi server. Okay. So I'll show you one magic here. Okay. I'm going to do a magic. See this. So this is my Windows server. Okay. This is my Windows server. So let me log in.